Welcome. Today we will read Lesson 52 in the workbook, and from the text we will read Chapter 6, Section 2, paragraphs 1 through 7. And now for Lesson 52. Today's review covers these ideas. 6. I am upset because I see what is not there. Reality is never frightening. It is impossible that it could upset me. Reality brings only perfect peace. When I am upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions I made up. The illusions are upsetting because I have given them reality, and thus regard reality as an illusion. Nothing in God's creation is affected in any way by this confusion of mine. I am always upset by nothing. Number 7. I see only the past. As I look about, I condemn the world I look upon. I call this seeing. I hold the past against everyone and everything, making them my enemies. When I have forgiven myself and remembered who I am, I will bless everyone and everything I see. There will be no past and therefore no enemies. And I will look with love on all that I failed to see before. Eight. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see only my own thoughts, and my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it is? Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent the present from dawning on my mind. Let me understand that I am trying to use time against God. Let me learn to give the past away, realizing that in so doing, I am giving up nothing. Number 9. I see nothing as it is now. If I see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see only what is now. The choice is not whether to see the past or the present. The choice is merely whether to see or not. What I have chosen to see has cost me vision. Now I would choose again, that I may see. Ten. My thoughts do not mean anything. I have no private thoughts, yet it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation and part of its creator. Would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful and meaningless private thoughts? In these review lessons, earlier lesson ideas are being expanded so that an integrated thought system can be revealed. Since reality brings only perfect peace, when I am upset, I am really upset with nothing. When I see only the past, which is really not there, my judgments make everyone and everything into an enemy. My preoccupation with the past blocks my awareness of the present. When I am not seeing what is now, I am not seeing at all. When I am having only private thoughts, I am not thinking at all. Only my thoughts that I think with eternity are real. Having chosen wrongly, I have only myself to forgive. And now for our text reading from Chapter 6, Section 2, The Alternative to Projection, paragraphs 1 through 7. Any split in mind must involve a rejection of part of it, and this is the belief in separation. The wholeness of God, which is his peace, cannot be appreciated except by a whole mind that recognizes the wholeness of God's creation. By this recognition, it knows its creator. Exclusion and separation are synonymous, as are separation and dissociation. We have said before that the separation was and is dissociation, and that once it occurs, projection becomes its main defense, or the device that keeps it going. The reason, however, may not be so obvious as you think. What you project, you disown, and therefore do not believe is yours. You are excluding yourself by the very judgment that you are different from the one on whom you project. Since you have also judged against what you project, you continue to attack it because you continue to keep it separated. By doing this unconsciously, you try to keep the fact that you attacked yourself out of awareness, and thus imagine that you have made yourself safe. Yet projection will always hurt you. It reinforces your belief in your own split mind, and its only purpose is to keep the separation going. It is solely a device of the ego to make you feel different from your brothers and separated from them. The ego justifies this on the grounds that it makes you seem better than they are, thus obscuring your equality with them still further. Projection and attack are inevitably related, because projection is always a means of justifying attack. Anger without projection is impossible. The ego uses projection only to destroy your perception of both yourself and your brothers. The process begins by excluding something that exists in you, but which you do not want, and leads directly to excluding you from your brothers. We have learned, however, that there is an alternative to projection. Every ability of the ego has a better use, because its abilities are directed by the mind, which has a better voice. The Holy Spirit extends, and the ego projects. As their goals are opposed, so is the result. The Holy Spirit begins by perceiving you as perfect. Knowing this perfection is shared, he recognizes it in others, thus strengthening it in both. Instead of anger, this arouses love for both, because it establishes inclusion. Perceiving equality, the Holy Spirit perceives equal needs. This invites atonement automatically, because atonement is the one need in this world that is universal. To perceive yourself this way is the only way in which you can find happiness in the world. That is because It is the acknowledgement that you are not in this world, for the world is unhappy. How else can you find joy in a joyless place except by realizing that you are not there? You cannot be anywhere God did not put you. And God created you as part of Him. That is both where you are and what you are. It is completely unalterable. It is total inclusion. You cannot change it now or ever. It is forever true. It is not a belief, but a fact. Anything that God created is as true as He is. Its truth lies only in its perfect inclusion in Him who alone is perfect. To deny this is to deny yourself and Him, since it is impossible to accept one without the other. The perfect equality of the Holy Spirit's perception is the reflection of the perfect equality of God's knowing. The ego's perception has no counterpart in God, but the Holy Spirit remains the bridge between perception and knowledge. By enabling you to use perception in a way that reflects knowledge, you will ultimately remember it. The ego would prefer to believe that this memory is impossible. Yet it is your perception the Holy Spirit guides. Your perception will end where it began. Everything meets in God, because everything was created by Him and in Him. Projection is the main defense of the ego's ideas of separation, and thus it keeps it going on in one's mind. What one projects on, one sees as inherently separate. Thus one disowns it as part of oneself. What is projected is also judged and also attacked. Yet one has only attacked oneself. But this fact is kept hidden from oneself. Projection is an ego device for making one seen different from others, and thus feel separated from them. It is a means of justifying attack. Anger without projection is impossible. We are also reminded that Spirit's alternative to projection is extension. Spirit perceives one as perfect and knows this perfection is shared. Thus, Spirit recognizes it in others and strengthens it in both. Perceiving equality, Spirit perceives equal needs. And instead of anger, the result is love.